So welcome to DURGASOFT. As you know, today is our first demo class. We are going to start MySQL batch. And as this is our first class, first let me introduce about myself. I'm Divya. I have about 8+ years of experience into data analytics. I have teaching experience in all the data science subjects like SQL, Tableau, Power BI, statistics, and machine learning. Okay, so we are going to start MySQL batch. And let me tell you, this is a kind of add-on batch. We already started a batch last week. We got some students there, and whoever joined in this batch, we are going to, club these two batches. That means we are going to add the students also into that batch. And the batch timings will be from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST. So first only I'm letting you know this thing. After 3 days, our classes will continue from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. I hope that timing would be okay for you. As this is our first class, let me give you an introduction about SQL and databases. So are you there, Pawan? Can you hear me? Once just acknowledge me, like you can unmute yourself or you can speak, or else even you can just reply me in chat box so that I'll start the class. Are you there? Can you hear me? Am I audible? You can even reply me in chat. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Pawan. Great. So let's start. As I said, this is our demo class. First, as this is our first class, I'll give introduction about SQL and databases first. Okay, Vicky, that's great. Okay, so before understanding about what is database, let's try to talk a little bit about data. That is importance of data. Okay. We know that nowadays, whatever we are using, whatever we are doing online, we are nothing but we are generating data, right? Suppose for an example, if we bought one product in online, let's take an example of Amazon. If you are buying any product in online, like in any platforms like Amazon, what is happening actually? We are buying one product, and once we buy any product in the Amazon, at the Amazon side in their database, they're storing all the data, right? Something like, our details, that is customer details. It's like our name, our number, our address, and what is the product we bought, right? what is the price of the product, from which seller we bought that particular product, the dealer details. All these details will be saved within the Amazon side, correct? Like that, whatever we are doing nowadays by using our smartphones, we are generating data only. From many years, from last few years, no problem, Jyoti. Actually, I also started late. The class started just now, just a couple of minutes ago. Okay, you didn't miss anything. As this is our first class, I'm just trying to give the introduction of databases and SQL. And I'm talking about the importance of data. Then I'll start explaining about database and SQL. Okay. So from few years, we are generating data a lot, right? Data generation has increased a lot, I can say. Right. So what can be the reasons behind increasing, what can be the reasons behind this data generation in the sense? I can say maybe one reason is like demonetization, right? If you remember, 2 years ago, demonetization happened. Before that, what was the situation? We used to make cash payments only. But once from the demonetization period, what we did immediately, overnight, we started using applications, right? Payment apps like maybe Phone Pay, Google Pay kind of things, and we started doing digital payments, right? What is happening whenever we do any digital payment? Definitely, our data is being saved, right? And especially from the COVID pandemic time. From the COVID pandemic time, what happened? We started using online platforms. We started doing everything online, right? We started doing online shoppings. We started watching movies in OTT platforms, correct? We are now, even today, we are connecting online to learn something. Work from home started at that time, correct? Everything we started doing online, and whatever we are doing in online, it's nothing but we are generating data. Okay, everything is being saved in the form of data only. As we are generating lots and lots of data nowadays, definitely there should be some systems, some good systems where we can store the data in a proper manner. So by using something, we can able to store the data properly, we can able to maintain the data properly, right? Let's take an example. Suppose, if you remember, whenever you are creating your Gmail account, we need to give some details to create the account, right? The details, like obviously we will give our name, right? And we will give our age, we will give our phone number. Obviously, we will create Gmail ID, and we will give our gender. And by default, we will turn on location. Nowadays, we are turning on locations also in our smart. Okay, let's leave location for a while. Remaining everything: name, age, phone number, and gender. If you remember, we need to give age and gender also whenever we are creating our Gmail account, right? By giving all these details, we'll create the account. At that time, what will happen? We are actually giving, we are actually storing all this data. We are actually keeping all this data with the Google, correct? In the inside Google database, we are storing all this data. Google is storing all our data with them. And whenever you install any application in your phones, in your smartphones, maybe it can be any app like Netflix or any shopping apps, whatever it is, once definitely to use this, even we will use a Gmail ID, or else we will use a phone number, correct? To log in, to create our own accounts in this apps. Let's talk about Netflix only. If we wanted to use Netflix, we need to create our account. How we will create account? Either by using Gmail ID or by using the phone number, right? Whatever we use, after creating the account, actually after immediately installing this application, by default we will agree some conditions, right? That is nothing but whatever data we stored already with the Google, we are giving permission for this Netflix to access that data from the Google. That means all these details again, all these details will be, can be accessed by Netflix people also. Just a second. Okay, let me continue. So all these details, whatever we are saving, whatever we are storing with the Google will be accessed by the Netflix also. That is, you can imagine whatever apps we are using online, whatever we are doing online, not only whatever data, suppose if it is Netflix, if we are watching one movie, what movie we are watching, if we, along with that data, our personal data is also being stored with the Netflix. Like that, whatever we do online nowadays, by default data is being generated. So we can imagine how much data we are generating online, right? So to as we are generating lots and lots of data, suppose if we talk Amazon only, on daily basis, definitely thousands of transactions will happen with Amazon, right? Thousands of orders they will take. So to maintain each and every order, they will maintain the data. So obviously, to store that much of data, to maintain that much of data, we should have a good systems, a better management system to maintain this data, right? That is where database came into existence. Database is something where we will actually store the data. Okay, database is something where we will store the data. Okay, by using database only we can store the data and we will maintain the data properly. Previously, before databases came into existence, what happened? Of course, before computers came into existence, everything was made man-made, correct? They used to store the data in the form of files or registers manually, right? But later computers came into existence, and from them, maybe inside in the computers, something like this Excel files or text files, they used to save the data, right? In the Excel format also, in the Excel files also, they can save the data, they can store the data. But the thing is that we have some limitations for Excel file. Okay, going forward in couple of days we will discuss about the limitations also, what are all the limitations we have, or what are all the disadvantages we have if we are storing the data in Excel. Okay, and how we overcome all that limitations by using databases, we will discuss this concept also, maybe in after 2 days. Okay, so as I'm saying, we have some disadvantages in Excel file, and that's where, to overcome those disadvantages, databases came into existence. One such disadvantage is that in Excel file we can store up to 1 million data only. Okay, what if we need to store more than that data? We can't store in Excel file, but in databases we can store how much data we want according to the size, right? According to our requirement, we will take that databases and we can store how much data we want. Not only the size thing, we have so many limitations in Excel file. Going forward, we will discuss one by one all the limitations, and I'll explain you how we overcome that limitations by using databases. Okay, so let's concentrate now on database. So database is nothing but where we will store the data. Okay, or else I can say database is nothing but collection of data. Okay, now we understood about database. Then what is SQL? Full form of SQL, obviously we all know that, structured query language, right? Full form of SQL is structured query language. But what exactly SQL is, in the sense, to make you understand, let me take one example. Okay, if there are any non-IT students, to make them also understand clearly, I'll take a very simple example. Okay, so that you can relate the things very clearly. Suppose imagine this is one school. Okay, maybe I'm talking about one class here, maybe something like 10th A section. Okay, so what they are doing here, they're maintaining in this class, they are maintaining the data inside a register. Okay, Jyoti, no problem. That is what actually in every batches, in each of my batch, I'll get mixed students. I'll get students from non-IT background. I'll get students who are pursuing BTech, but mostly I'll get the students already experienced persons already who are working in the IT, IT fields. Uh, but they wanted to learn some advanced concepts and they will join. So like a mixed kind of students we will get. That is the reason, keeping in mind that even non-IT students, suppose any non-IT student is trying to transit their career into IT industry, first and foremost they need to learn SQL. SQL is a kind of, it's a kind of with that only you can construct, you can frame your foundation here, right? It is a kind of backbone for the complete IT industry. And that is the reason, from in my batch, in my classes, I'll teach everything from scratch. No need of there is no prerequisites to learn this course. If you don't know anything also, that is okay. This is our first class. Starting from this class, from the scratch we will discuss everything till the very advanced concepts. That too by solving some examples practically only we will learn. Okay, no problem. So let me continue. So in this particular class, what they are doing, they are maintaining one register to store some details of the students. Maybe like student ID, that is roll number, let's think. Okay. And maybe student marks, maybe student attendance. Like this, they are maintaining some data in the form of register, something like a book. Maybe if we remember in our childhood also, they used to maintain the registers to store the attendance details, right? Just like that, I'm taking that example. Okay, if they are maintaining in the form of registers, one day what happened, the principal of the school, he wanted to see the students performance, even marks also being stored here, or else attendance, whatever it is, whatever he wanted to check. One day principal wanted to check the students details or student marks, and what he did, he called his peon and he said to his peon that go to 10th A section and bring the register so that whatever details he wanted to check, he can check. Okay, so peon went to this class, he took the register and he gave it to the principal, and whatever data he wanted to see, principal can see. Okay, suppose in the same scenario, instead of registers, now let's just imagine this is a big university, something like our JNTU university or any other big university where they have thousands of students. See, first of all, in the previous example, they stored the data in the form of registers. If it is a little bit big college, they can even maintain the data in the form of Excel files. But just now I said that we have some limitations in Excel files, right? So we will discuss that limitations going forward. So now let's forget about this Excel. And if it is a big university, something like JNTU university or any other big university where there are thousands of students, and if suppose they wanted to store the data inside database, let's take an example. This is a university, they are maintaining the database to store the data. Okay, so instead of this registers, what they are doing now, they are storing the data in this database. Now again the same scenario, the principal wanted to see the data which is already stored in the database. Okay, in the previous example, what principal did, he called his peon and he said to his peon that go to 10th A section and bring the register, right? So to communicate what he want, definitely he might use some language, right? It can be English language, it can be Hindi language, Telugu language, whatever it is, to communicate with the peon, to tell peon that he want the register, he might use some language, right? Let's consider he talk in English, he said to peon in English that go and bring the register, then only peon understood what principal want and he brought the register and he gave it to the principal, right? In the same way, if they are maintaining the data inside the database, whenever principal wanted to see any data, he here, to get that data, he should use a language called as SQL. Okay, so if whatever data principal wanted to see, if the data is stored in the database, he should use a language called as SQL, then only
database will understand what principal want, and that database will give that particular data. Okay, that is about the SQL. SQL is nothing but it is a language which is used to communicate with the database. If I want something from the database, definitely I need to use SQL as a language. Then only database understand what I'm asking and it will give me the data accordingly. I hope it is clear. Let me write the definition of SQL. It is nothing but SQL is a language which is used to communicate with the database. Okay. So how we will communicate with the database, I mean, how we will use SQL language in the sense we will have something called as queries. Okay, we will write, actually we will have something called as syntaxes. By using that syntax is nothing but a formula, I can say. Okay, so by using that, we will write some queries, and whenever we are executing the queries, SQL will understand what we want and it will give the data accordingly. Okay, now with this example, I hope you understand, you understood what is database and what is SQL, right? Database is nothing but where we will store the data and where we will maintain the data. It's a collection of data where we will store and where we will maintain. Okay, if we are storing the data inside the database, definitely we will use a language called as SQL so that we can communicate with the database. Okay, I hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Even you can chat, even you can unmute yourself and you can speak, no problem. Okay, so this is about SQL. So now what is MySQL? I said that we are going to start MySQL batch, right? We understood about SQL. Then what is MySQL in the sense? We have so many databases in the market. Okay, something like Oracle SQL, MySQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, like that. We have so many databases in the market. Okay, we have so many companies out there, and each company is owning their own database. Like, for example, Oracle company, Oracle SQL and MySQL are the products from Oracle company. SQL Server is a product from Microsoft company, like that. Okay, we have so many databases in the market. Okay. Anyways, SQL is a standard language. SQL is a universal declared language. All the concepts belongs to SQL only. But to use that SQL, we will use any of these tools. Okay. Some companies will use MySQL, some companies will use SQL, SQL Server, but end of the day, all the concepts are from SQL only. Something like, Android phones are common, right? But we have so many companies out there like OnePlus, Samsung, right? Whatever phone you use, end of the day, the usage will be same, right? The same concept here. SQL concepts will be same. These are different products available. These are different softwares available in the market. That's it. Okay. So if you learn MySQL, even with the same concepts, with the same queries, with the same syntaxes, you can work with SQL Server also. Everything will be same. You can work with Oracle SQL also, no problem. Okay, the user interface will be little bit different, but you can understand all the options easily. You can the queries, the concept will be same. Okay, don't think like if you learn MySQL and if you see any job requirement on SQL Server, that is a different thing. All are same. Even you can try for SQL Server positions also. Okay, basically SQL are divided into two types. One is SQL and then next one is NoSQL. Okay, so all the examples, all the databases, whatever I said previously, those all comes under SQL. Okay, Oracle SQL, MySQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, like that we have so many. Under NoSQL, we have something called as example of NoSQL is MongoDB. Okay, this is different again. With this knowledge, we can't use MongoDB. That NoSQL is entirely different. Okay, but whatever I'm listed here, all are same. If you learn one, suppose if you're learning MySQL, you can use any other things also, no problem. Okay, and we have something called as RDBMS. That is nothing but relational database management system. Okay. So to maintain the database, we will use database management systems. And we have something called as RDBMS. SQL always follows RDBMS techniques. Okay, SQL always follow RDBMS technique. Then what is RDBMS in the sense? Basically, what is the concept here? First, we will maintain a database. Okay, we need to create a database. Inside a database, we will create the tables. Okay, inside tables, we will store the data. Every time we will store the data inside tables only. We need to create tables and we will store the data there. Okay, so how, let me give an example of one table. Suppose I wanted to store employees data. Then employees is my table name. Okay, employee ID is one column, employee name, salary, date of joining. Okay, let me give some data also here randomly. Just a second. So if I wanted to store employees data, employees is my table name. As I said, always we will store the data inside tables, right? And table is nothing but it's a collection of rows and columns. Okay, that is vertical thing is called as column. Okay, column. That is in this table we are having four columns. Employee ID is one column, employee name is one column, salary is one column, date of joining is one column. Here rows in the sense this data. This is first row of data. This is second row of data. We have four columns and two rows. Okay, here. So every time table is a collection of rows and columns. Like this, we will store the data. Okay, this is an Excel file. That is the reason I wrote like this. But in SQL, we will write syntaxes to create this tables and to insert this data. We will learn everything detailing, no problem. Okay, but for now understand that we will store everything inside databases. First we will create a database. Inside that database we will create the tables, and inside the table we will store the data. Okay, always tables is nothing but it is table is created in the form of a table is nothing but it's a collection of rows and columns. Okay, so in this employees table I'm having four columns and two rows, like that. Suppose now, every time we will store the data inside tables, right? Now, what is RDBMS in the sense? Whatever data we are storing inside the tables, that tables should be related to each other. If the tables are related to each other, then we will say that is following RDBMS technique. In RDBMS, every time, that is in SQL, every time tables will be related to each other. In my database, if I have 10 tables, all the tables should be related to each other. That is a rule of SQL, that is a rule of the RDBMS, because every time SQL follows RDBMS technique. Okay, RDBMS is nothing but tables should be related to each other. Okay, in NoSQL there won't be relations. Okay, tables won't be related to each other. That is a difference. Okay, let's forget about NoSQL. For now we are learning SQL, right? So this is about the basic introduction of what is database, what is SQL, how we will store the data inside SQL. Okay, if you have any doubts you can ask me. If everything is clear, I'll start explaining MySQL user interface. I'll show you the user interface and we will start our first database today. Any doubts, anyone? Any kind of job profiles, Wiki here. mainly SQL developer, I can say. Okay, if you want, you can try for SQL developer positions, or else, as I said, SQL is a kind of backbone for the complete IT industry. Whatever job role you select, definitely you need to learn SQL. Along with the SQL, you need to learn some other concepts, some other subjects to choose your domain. For example, if you wanted to if you wanted to, pursue your career in data analytics or data science, let's talk about data analytics. First, you need to learn SQL. Along with that, you need to learn any visualization tool. Like it can be Power BI or yeah, that is what I'm saying. It can be Power BI or Tableau, like that. And along with that, you need to have some knowledge on Python. Okay, then you can uh, you know extend your career into data analytics. I'll teach Tableau with DurgaSoft actually. Okay, and suppose if you wanted to choose your career, Power BI currently I'm not teaching with DurgaSoft, only Tableau I'm teaching. Okay, and if you wanted to choose your career into full stack, then definitely along with the SQL you need to learn some programming languages, like one DBM. I mean, obviously you will learn SQL, along with that maybe Java or Python, and along with that one backend subject and Linux, like that. You need to learn some other subjects also, like that. Whatever job role, whatever domain you choose, SQL will be common. Even it is testing also, if you wanted to go to testing side also, SQL you should learn by default. And then in that domain, whatever subjects are required, those subjects you need to learn. So by default, if you are working in IT industry, you need to learn SQL. Along with SQL, what other subjects you learn, so additionally along with that, you need to choose your career. Okay, like that. Or else only SQL developer, if you wanted to be as a SQL developer, then very very deep, I mean, you need to practice more on SQL queries, and along with the SQL only you can start your career into SQL developer. Going forward, maybe after 2 years of experience, you need to learn PLSQL also. PLSQL is nothing but, along with SQL, there is two or three concepts in PLSQL, like procedures and triggers. Okay, if you learn those two concepts, then you can settle as PLSQL developer also. So like that. Even if you are a complete fresher, only with SQL also you can get a job easily. If it is data analytics also, only with SQL also you can try. If you are a complete fresher, okay, without any career gaps, if you are a complete fresher, then only with SQL you can just try. And some companies with SQL only they will take, and going forward, whatever tool they use, it can be Power BI or Tableau, they will train you on them. Okay, like that also. But if you learn any visualization tool, that would be very easy. I mean, easily you can get a job. There are so many vacancies on data analytics, right? Like that. So now let's see the user interface of MySQL. Once we are done with demo classes, I'll show you the installation process of MySQL. Okay, for now I'm just directly showing you. Once I open the MySQL like this, you can see this is where you can see local instance. You need to click on that. Just a second, let me close this files. Okay, so this is the user interface of MySQL. Okay, so as you can see, we have menu bar here. We have some options, right? This is toolbars, shortcut keys for the all those options. Okay, so you can see something called as schemas here. Below schemas, whatever you can see, this is nothing but list of databases available. In my system, I already created so many databases. That is the reason you can see this many. Okay, but for the first time, if you are using, once you install the software for the first time, you can able to see only sys database. Okay, only sys database is available. After that, whatever database you will create, that database you can see. Okay, this is the list of the databases. Below that, you can see this is information section. Basically, you can see observe some details. Suppose if here I selected this database, that is what it is displaying. If I select any table, that table data it will show here in the information section. Okay, and this is editor where we will write all the SQL queries. Actually, we need to open a SQL file here inside editor. To open a SQL file, we have two options: file menu, second option new query tab. If we open this, you can able to see one SQL file is opened. Here I can write all the queries. Even we have a shortcut that is in the toolbar first icon, this one. Okay, in the toolbar first icon, if I click on this, then also one file will be open either in file menu new query tab, or else directly this option. If you are clicking on this one, files will be open. So inside this file again we will have some options here. So we can write any kind of queries here, and to get the result we need whatever result we will get, that output you will see in this output section at the bottom. Okay, this is the output section. Once we write any query and execute, we can able to see the outputs here. And let's observe the options whatever we have inside Excel file. This is save button, as you can recognize, right? After suppose if we after writing some queries, if we wanted to save this file into our systems, we will click on this file button, we will click on this save button, and we can give the file name and we can save in whatever folder we want. Okay, and after afterwards, if we wanted to open any already saved files, you need to click on the first icon. First icon is nothing but folder icon. If you click on this folder icon, you can able to open any of the files. Suppose I'm trying to open this file now, functions. Okay, you can see I got this file like that. Okay, and the third icon here is nothing but execute button, important, this one. After writing any queries, we need to execute, right, to see the output. So this is the execute button. Okay, for now these options are enough. Going forward, we will see about other options accordingly. Okay, for now this is enough. And let's create our first database. But before creating the database, let me write some points here. As we already discussed, database is nothing but it is a collection of data, right? SQL, what is the full form of SQL? Structure query language. Structure query language. And what is the definition of SQL? SQL is nothing but it's a language which is used to communicate with the database, right? Okay, and we have something called as comments in SQL. Like in every other programming language also, we have something like comments. We have two types of comments. Okay, first one is single line comment, and the second one is multi-line comment. Okay, basically what is comment in the sense, whatever we write inside comment, that is non-executable. If we don't want to execute anything, we can write that inside the comment. If you observe here, I wrote some notes, I wrote some points here, but before every line I used one symbol like two hyphens, right? That is nothing but a comment here. That is, whatever I wrote inside that comment, that is non-executable. If I don't want to execute this, I wrote this like a point, I wrote this like a notes, I don't want to execute this. That is the reason I kept it inside comments. Okay, right, Vicky, perfect. So we have two types of comments. One is single line comment. So we have what is a symbol for single line comment in the sense, this one, as I said, two hyphens or else hash. If we use hash also, okay, no problem. Hash is also a comment. If we write either inside hash or this two hyphen symbol, that is nothing but single line comment. That is the reason for every line. Before every line, again I'm using this symbol, right? Multi-line comment in the sense multiple lines. If you wanted to write something like a paragraph, multiple lines, and if you wanted to keep it inside a comments, again we will use we will say that as a multi-line comments, and the symbol for that is hash star. I'll write at the bottom actually, hash and star, and whatever we wanted to write we can write, and after that star in hash. That is, this is the start of the comment, this is the end of the comment. Okay, hash star, star hash, in between whatever we want we can write. This is a multi-line comment. Single line comment in the sense either this symbol we can use or else this symbol we can use. Okay, this is called as comments in SQL. Basically, any queries, if we don't want to execute, or else in my classes, what I'll do, I always believe in, instead of giving some PDF files, what I'll do as a notes, once we are done with each and every concept, I will share this SQL files only for you, where you can find all the theory part inside comments like this, and below that I will write the queries and I will write the examples then and there only, so that whenever you wanted to revise, if you open one file, for example, let me show you one file here. Mm, suppose joins. See, suppose question I wrote inside the quotes and below I gave the queries. Okay. If we have any theory kind of nodes also, I will give inside codes only, questions and any theory part. Suppose integrity constraints. This is a definition. So I gave it inside quotes, and queries, I gave it normally, right? You can see. See, if I wanted to give any notes, I'll write it here itself inside quotes, and then you can find the queries or syntaxes at the bottom, so that whenever you wanted to revise, if you open this file, everything, theory part and practicals along with the queries examples, you can file it in one file only, right? So I'll share this files only as a notes for you. Okay, so basically I will use comments to write the notes here. Okay, and yeah, for now these points are enough. So let's create our first database. Okay, let's create the database, and as I said, for everything we will have something called as syntax here. Syntax is nothing but it's a kind of formula, we can say. Okay, we have syntax to create everything, to do every task in SQL. We need to remember that syntaxes anyways, no need of memorizing them. By with practice, by default we will get used to them. With practice we can remember, no problem. Okay, so for creating database also we have a syntax, that is create database. Database name is the syntax. Okay, for creating database, the syntax is create database and database name. Okay, so let's create our first database. Okay, I'm creating create database. Database name, I'm giving it as SQL demo 1. Okay, I'm giving the database name as SQL demo 1. This is the database name. Whatever we want, we can give actually. For the previous batch, for the current batch, 7 o'clock batch, I'm using SQL demo. SQL 6 is also there. I'm just using this database name for this batch, SQL demo 1. Okay, so like this, every time unique name we need to give, and this is how we will create the database. After writing the query, we need to select this line and we need to click on the execute button. Okay, then You can see here in the output section, whenever you can see green color tick mark, that means it got executed successfully. We created the database. Now to see this database name here, what we need to do, we have a refresh button here. We need to click on this refresh button. Then you can see I got the database. Okay. So if I'm expanding this database, in every database in SQL, we have 4 sections: tables, views, stored procedures, functions. One by one, we will learn everything in our class. Okay. So this is how we will create the database. Once the database is created, we will actually activate the database. Okay. How we are going to activate the database, in the sense, suppose we have so many databases here. Okay, now I'm saying that I wanted to use SQL demo 1, but definitely we SQL also need to know which database we are using, right? So to let SQL understand what is the database we are using currently, we need to activate that particular database. To activate the database, we have a syntax, that is use database name. Okay, just I'm writing, instead of writing the complete spelling, I'm writing like this in the shortcut. Okay, the syntax is use. By using use command, we will activate the database. Use database name, that is use. What is our database name? SQL demo 1. Now observe, I'm just executing this. You can see it got highlighted. It went into dark bold color, right? Now what will happen? Going forward, whatever queries I will execute, all that queries will be executed under this database only. SQL understood that we are using this database and it will execute all the queries inside this database only. Okay, every time, daily, whenever we are using, first we need to activate the database, then only we will start working on it. Obviously in real time we will connect to only one database, that will be our client's database, so definitely no need of activating there. But in learning purpose, here you can see I'm having so many databases, so we need to definitely activate, and then only we need to start working on it. Okay, so what we did today, we understood what is database, we understood what is SQL, importance of data, what is MySQL, right? We understood some important points in SQL, and we understood how to create the database, how to activate the database. Tomorrow we will create our first table. Okay. Before that, let me quickly show you the course content, whatever we are going to cover in our course, right? So introduction to database and SQL, we are done today. Limitations of Excel file, after a couple of days I'll explain. Tomorrow actually I'll explain about creation of database and tables. We understood the database creation. Tables we will see tomorrow. Once we are done with demo classes, I'll show you MySQL installation. Tomorrow we will understand tables creation, data types in SQL, and if time permits, we will start SQL commands concept. Next concept is SQL commands or sublanguages. Basically, we will have 5 sublanguages, that is DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. Under each sublanguage, we have so many commands. We will learn everything practically. Then we will the next concept is integrity constraints. We have so many constraints in SQL, like not null constraint, unique constraint, primary key, foreign key, check constraint, default constraint. What are all that constraints? Why we will use that constraints in real time? In which scenarios we will use? We will learn everything practically by solving the examples. Okay, so I can say up to here, this is the very basics of SQL. Okay, till this concept I will use some basic tables like employees table, users table, okay, orders table, like any tables like students table, like that. Very simple tables I'll use, and I'll explain these concepts. Once we are done with this concept, I'll give you real time database. The specialty of my course is that I will deal with, I'll give you a real-time database, something like a live project. I can say that is a movies database. It is a kind of OTT platform. I mean, Netflix or Hotstar database. However, how that database will be, the same kind of database we will work with. That is basically a movies database. I'll explain you that database, what are all the tables we have, what kind of data we have. I'll give you that database. I will show you how to restore that database into your systems, and then from then our main concepts will start. by using this database only. We will learn each and every concept by using this main real-time database only. Here we will have some thousands and thousands of data. Obviously, once we started working in any company, we will directly deal with the real-time projects, right? There definitely we will have some thousands of rows and all. So if we work while learning also, if we practice in this kind of real-time databases, then it will be helpful for you. It will be like, it will give you some hands-on experience to deal with the databases. Okay. And next our concept is SQL operators and clauses. Okay, important concept. We have so many clauses like where clause, order by clause, a limit clause, distinct clause, group by clause, and having clause. And we have some operators in SQL like or, and, not, in operator, range operator, that is between operator. Like that, we have some operators which we will use inside a where clause. We will learn everything very practically. And here the main important operator is like operator. We have some wildcards in like operator, basically that is used to search for pattern matching. If we wanted to search any data based on any pattern, we will use this like operator actually. Okay, so we will learn everything very practically by solving the examples on this project, no problem. Okay, next functions. We have some inbuilt functions in SQL like number function, character function, date function, aggregate function. Next, joins. Most important concept in SQL is joins, I can say. However, SQL is a kind of backbone to the IT industry, and for SQL, joins is a kind of backbone. I mean, joins, I can say joins is a backbone for complete SQL. In real time, mostly we will work on joins. We have so many joins like inner join, left join, right join, outer join, self join, cross join, natural joins. Every join we will learn very practically by solving many examples. Not only the examples which we solve in the class, only as this is very important concept, as we will use mostly joins only in real time. Only for this concept, what I'll do, I'll give some assignment questions, something like practice questions. I'll give some questions for you. I'll give some time like 1 week to 10 days. Whenever you get some free time, try to solve those questions just for your understanding that whether you can able to solve joins or not. Okay, after 10 days, what I'll do, I'll explain that solutions in the class. I won't check whether you solve them or not, whether you are correct or not. It's just up to you. You can you can understand about your whether you can solve or not, right? That is the reason. After 10 days or 1 week, I'll explain that solutions in the class so that you can verify by yourselves and you can understand if you did anywhere mistake or not, like that, so that you can even focus and practice on joins very carefully. Okay, and I'll follow this process only on joins because that is very important concept. Okay, once we are done with joins, next concept is regular expression. Again, regular expression is nothing but it's a kind of pattern matching only, same like operator, very useful. Whatever domain you choose, we will use regular expressions also very frequently in real time. Next, group by clause and having clause. This is again some clauses, but to use this concept, we need to learn is a joins concept. That is the reason we will learn here group by clause, having clause, and using aggregate function inside group by clause. Okay, then subqueries. We have some types of subqueries that is single row subquery, multi row subquery, correlated subquery, non correlated subquery. Everything we will learn practically. Next, normalization, denormalization, normal forms. Okay, one more important concept I can say. Generally, we will get raw data from the client. Okay, how we will convert that raw data into a perfect database is nothing but by following the normal forms, we will convert raw data into a normalized into a perfect database data. Okay, how we are going to convert that, what is normal forms, when we will say the data is in normalization, everything I will show you by practically by taking one real-time raw data on sales data. Okay, no one will show you this, I can bet. In most of the institutes they will just explain only theoretically, but here I'll practically, by showing the sales data, I'll explain you about how we are going to convert raw data into a perfect database. Okay, and then diagrams, views, index, temporary tables, all these are simple concepts but very important concepts. Okay, especially temporary tables are used to remove duplicate data. Views, index, also important concepts. CTE, one more advanced concept. CTE is nothing but common table expression. Okay, stored procedure, very important, one more advanced concept. Windows function. This is again from few batches ago only I just included this concept in real time in my course actually, because nowadays in every interview we can expect at least one or two questions from this windows functions concept. We have some types of window function like rank, dense rank, row number, lead and lag. We will discuss everything practically, and next at the end I'll discuss some interview questions also, keeping everyone in mind, like for freshers what type of questions they will ask, for experienced persons what type of questions they will ask. Everything I will discuss along with the answers. Okay, so this is our course content, starting from the very basic concept till the very advanced concept. Every concept will be covered here. Everything we will learn very practically by using a real time movies database. Okay, so this is about our course content. Of course tomorrow is also a demo class only. Attend tomorrow's class. Let's continue with the today's topic. Okay, we will learn how to create tables, what is data types, how many data types are there in SQL, and if time permits let's understand about, let's start sub languages concept also tomorrow. Okay, anyone any doubt you can ask me, or else I'll end the session. Actually I'm having one more session now. Any doubts, anyone?
Doubt. I have one question, but this is not about.
Can you speak little bit loud?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, please tell me.
Okay, so I have no doubts about the content that you taught, but I
Okay.
have doubts. Uh, yeah. How much time would it take? It said 45 days.
35 sessions actually. And one more thing, I said this point starting, but I don't think you joined at that time. This only for demo classes, or maybe only for this week our timing will be 6 p.m. Because this is a kind of add-on batch. Last week already I started a batch at 7 p.m. IST. We got few students there. Now whoever will join this batch, we will make the students join in that batch only. Like from next week the timing will be 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Okay, so if that time is comfortable for you, then only join please. Okay, first of all, that is the main point here, because this is an add-on batch. We are just giving demo classes. We are giving I'm taking only 1 week for 6 o'clock, and then whoever will join here will be added to the 7 o'clock batch, which is already started last week. Once the topics got balanced, I'll just join both the batches, and the timing will be from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST, and the duration is 35 sessions. Monday to Friday I'll take the classes. 35 classes will be required. Okay, and the course fees is only 3000. Already admin people kept it in the chat box about the details, but as you already joined the class, tomorrow by tomorrow morning you will get a mail from the admin people where you can find the registration details also. Okay, any other questions, Jyoti?
No, ma'am. I have no other question.
Sorry.
So once you move us to the 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. batch, you
Mhm.
would be the same person, right? Teaching like.
Yeah. I will only teach MySQL with DurgaSoft. I will only teach. That is also my batch only. As I said, I mean, for every batch we will do this process. We will start one batch, and next week we will start one add-on batch, and we will just club both the batches so that we will get some few students more, right? Like that. I will only teach that batch also, but the timings will be changed, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's it. Okay. Of course, Jyoti, you can repeat the batch, no problem. Even few students for me already they joined 2 3 times also. One person is he's already having 8 years of experience. He really like my way of teaching. He know actually about how advanced concepts I will discuss here. Whenever he's trying for a new job, whenever he's planning to attend a new interview, he will join first my classes. He will revise the concept. He will say that it will be a kind of revision for him, so that he can crack the interview without any problem. So he learned, he attended my 3 batches, not continuously. in last 2 years he attended 3 times. Like whenever he's trying to he wanted to learn any other topics, or when last time he said that he's trying to change his company, and at that time also join like that. Some students, one more student is from USA. he he attended the session, half of the session, and after that you know thank you so much, Jyoti. It means a lot. So that student from USA, after half of the sessions, maybe he some for his personal reasons he didn't attended 1 week in between, and that is the reason he attended that session also, and then again one more next batch also he attended like that. If you want, you can attend multiple times also, no problem. Okay. And you need to practice, you need to learn, you need to listen my classes. Whenever you get some time, you need to practice the queries easily. You can become pro in SQL. Whether you are from non-IT background, it doesn't matter. Whether you are completely fresher, it doesn't matter. I will teach everything from scratch. You need to practice little bit. Whenever you get any doubts, I will be available. You can just ask me doubts. I'll give you explanations. Okay. And all right, guys, actually my students will be waiting. I have one more batch at 7 o'clock. It's already very late. Let's continue tomorrow. If you have any doubts, please ask me tomorrow. Okay, bye. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.